It's Samantha. You know me. I'm back. I took a little time off. Life happens. Definitely had another baby boy. Yay, Bryson. Okay. So I'm here with Toni from at Queens of Production, and your podcast is
Culture Couture podcast.
Yes, Culture Couture podcast.
In collaboration with Hello Fallon Entertainment. Shout out to Fallon.
Okay, period.
And with our beautiful talent, Mother Shannon Balenciaga in Atlanta. And it's been a joy to not only work on it, but to be able to be creatively free.
Yes.
And I think we'll talk about that deeply in the podcast.
Yes.
But that's my big mantra of being able to do your own thing, build it with your own people across as much as you can, and if it aligns, and once you do it, just go for it.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just give us a little background of yourself. I already know, but so they can know.
So I am Toni. I'm Toni Postel. Born and raised here in California. I'm a West Coast girl.
Yes,
and definitely, but specifically, I'm from North Hollywood.
Okay.
But I literally have family all over, from the Valley to Carson to Palmdale, Lancaster, everywhere. You could honestly say, I'm a West Coast kid.
Yes.
And growing up, I always had creativity. My grandparents always instilled in me not only to be creative, but always know your history. My grandfather, who originally is from Birmingham, Alabama, he really instilled in me the memorabilia of our African American history. From the first thing he actually did was he had a deep conversation with my grandmother about she didn't really truly know that there were slaves in Massachusetts. That's where she's originally from. And he was like, ooh, we can't
have a seat.
We can't be in this household and
not
have this history. So it first started him collecting slave documents.
Right.
And really trying to instill in her there not only was there slaves in Massachusetts, but they were everywhere at the time.
Literally.
And from there, it got him to be interested in collecting memorabilia, from the Little Black Sambo books to the Muhammad Ali on the Wheatie boxes and stuff, just all these different things. And from there, I really was intrigued in not only history, but just everything about Black culture, from music to fashion to arts, everything I could get my hands on that was for us, by us. He really instilled it in me, but I did it 10 times fold. So
okay, shout out to Grandpa. Period. Okay. And then let's get to Happy Black History Month, because let's not forget that.
I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what these presidential regulations and everything.
Exactly.
It is going to be our month all day and all year.
It doesn't matter. It will never be erased. So. Okay. Oh, you want to add anything else after Grandpa?
Definitely. After, I would say, for my grandparents, and then, of course, with school, I was able to thankfully go to a high school, North Hollywood High School, that had, different academies. So I immediately, when I was in my freshman year, you had your freshman academy, but then once you finished your 9th grade year, you were able to have options into going to different academies. And thankfully, they had an entertainment and media academy. And from there, you had, courses, but you also had teachers that had the background. And so, fun fact, one of my teachers, his name is Mr. Ward. I actually bumped into him last year at a UCLA game for a little thing I was working on.
Wow.
He actually was the writer for the group, the writers team that was a part of Rush Hour, the first one. Okay. And he had a film class, and I took that film class, and that got me actually interested in storytelling. And of course, with all the other teachers, Miss Sweeney, Mr. Spickler, and I still take in touch with them.
I know they're proud of you as well.
Listen, but they really instilled in me so many different ways to storytell. Of course, not only in theater, but film, TV. That was always in that mantra of not only understanding theater, but you have to understand film and TV, because you're gonna either be in one or the other.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it blossomed over into college. Went to UC, the University of California, Davis, a cow town, very science. And they thought that Toni was gonna be in the sciences. No.
Okay, because that was one of my questions. When you attended college, how many times did your major change, and what did you expect to major in when you did get to college?
Once. It changed once. I knew. I went into UC Davis because, of course, I actually wanted to go to a HBCU. And that was, of course, instilled in me with my uncle. who was an Omega, and he took me to the Black College Expo in middle school, and I fell in love with Clark Atlanta University. When I got the chance to apply, I got in.
Okay.
Fun fact.
I love it.
So many issues dealing with like the rigmaroles of applying for Clark. Like they had me do so many requirements. I didn't get enough funding, and they had me request my military card. Which at the time I was like, when did they start asking women to go into the military? And then my grandfather was like, oh, it's because it's your name. They probably think that you. I was like, so by the time like that happened, it was already like the requirements for the University of California to be like the deadline, like you're gonna go or not.
Yeah.
And I got more money from Davis, so it's just like pick and choose.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm just gonna pick and choose. But I feel like, and this is just a mantra for everyone, I feel like just because I didn't get the HBCU experience, I still made my own Black culture, Black history where I went to Davis. Okay. So child, I was there everything. I was
That's
good. Everything when I went to college.
Period. Okay, they knew when you was coming, right?
Oh no, like I think they knew I was coming, but I think when I developed myself as a person in college, that's when I was like, I wasn't ready for what was going to instill. Because like when I went into freshman year, I actually got into radio. Okay. I was a DJ for the school at KDVS, which is an internal radio station that's at University of Davis. And it was such a joy. Like, that's what got me really into intersective music because I love music. My boyfriend says, I'm a historian. Yeah. So I love the history of music. I love the history of what it takes for our culture to be the culture. Okay. And so I did that for like 3 years, like majority of college. I got an award for that. Like I got contributions for doing that because I made, for me, I always was like, I wanted to always do something different that was different from everybody else. Like and the University of Davis, she was like science. You was going into math, you was nurse. Here I am. I'm in the theater classes. I am a costume designer. Yes. I'm a radio DJ there. Like everything that was creative, Toni was a part of it at that campus.
Okay, period. I love that. Okay, so, let's piggyback off of, I know during the pandemic, that's when you created Queens of Production. Yes. So, how hard was it to step out of your comfort zone and find your niche during that time?
Well, at the time when the pandemic hit, around 2020, I definitely was like in the best of my life of producing. Yeah. I was really in the position as an associate producer at that time, and around 2018, when I first transitioned away from executive assisting for Pilgrim Studios and they promoted me to work on Bring It, I was traveling. So from 2018 until 2020, I was working on so many different shows, APing. Yeah. After Bring It, it was like all unscripted, from competition to like house reality shows to anything that I could put my hands on as an associate producer. Because my mentor always told me, like, don't pigeonhole yourself when you're early in your stage of producing. Like, try everything, like syndication, like try the best as that you can, and then when you eventually build the skills and build the connections, then you can narrow it down to the niche that you're interested in. And so 2020, of course, everything stopped.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you had to kind of figure it out. And so from there, I was just like, what is my other like people doing? Like, what's going on? And like a couple people I was already checking on, and they were like, girl, just do a little Zoom call. And I was like, okay, fine. Right. So then I did the Zoom call, and I literally just sent the link to mentors, people I worked with, people that like I just connected with through social media. And I had over 30 to 40 queens from various positions, from either entry level, where it was film school, you just started, or you were an AP, like I was, below the line, what they say, to even the elite level of the executive producers, the people that greenlight shows, and all the things, cinematographers, animation people, editors. Like I had so many different positions, and we all had the same issues. We were dealing with micromanaging from other people, fighting for our right, fighting for our credit, fighting for everything.
Let's talk about it. Like, okay.
And as I was sitting there, it doesn't matter what level of position that we are in this production. We are all dealing with the same things, going through it mentally, spiritually, physically. Yes. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Stop hiding it and let's talk about it. And so from there, literally 2020, I kicked off the collective. And at first, it's just been like a resource collective. being able to just not gatekeep and give the information in a space that's safe for us to be able to ask the questions and get the resources. And if you need anything, you can DM me.
Yeah.
From there, it's just now turned into this whole beautiful business, this collective, and honestly, like, I wouldn't have done it without the people that was on that Zoom call.
Right.
But then also, too, with my elevation of my production level, with my producing, I'm able to bring you all on that journey as I'm starting to evolve into now the showrunner EP level transition.
Yes.
And you can see, like, all the woes that I'm going through, you know, generally as much as I can.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, like, if you have questions, it's not where it's something where it's like a far reach. It's literally just a simple DM or a text or a call or things like that. And if I'm busy, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, I can be able to, like, know somebody that, like, that's that West Coast in me. Like, I may not be the person that will be able to get you to Issa Rae, but I may know somebody or know the company or know the fellowship or know the mentoring programs that can help you get to where you need to go. It's like running a race. Yeah. I'm like that baton that helps you, like, get to where you need to go to finish the finish line.
Yes. Okay, and we need more people like you because...
Listen, I wish it would...
Listen.
They out there. We are out there. It's just we're slowly now coming to the forefront because a lot of us, like, we are in the background. So we are just been nosedive into our zone, our lane. But I think the pandemic, the strikes, the fires, everything kind of woke us up being like, okay, we can't just be comfortable in these union credits and be comfortable season after season on these shows. Like, we really have to, if we really want to do our own stuff, we have to take it by the throat and take it by the hand and go for it.
Yes. Okay. And so what was your favorite show to work on?
My favorite, okay. It's a little difficult because now it's honestly, with 2025, it's now gone almost 10 years that I've been working in TV and film nonstop. I would say, like, I took a break. Like, pandemic, I was able to I had to take a break between 2 to 3 months, but at most, it was like I've been working nonstop 10 years. So out of all of them with unscripted and now documentary, oh my God. Okay. I will honestly say my favorite one will be 2.
Okay.
The first one would be Legendary. Only because I was able to really take reins in that space, like, during a time when, again, it was like 2020, we had masks to clear things up. It was like, but still being able to make the magic for season 2 from what we had. Shout out to the House of Balenciaga and the House of Nina Ricci. Those are the 2 teams that myself and my producer was able to work with. And I was a segment producer at the time. And oh my gosh, like, I had an amazing, like, just partner who really, like, he was my boss, but at the same time he let me be the producer because I knew so much about ballroom and, like, I'm not a dancer, but I love the dance culture. I love, like, the arts. I love, like, what it brings. And at that time, a lot of my friends was doing season 1, so I already kind of knew a little bit of the background of what was going on. So when I got called on season 2, shout out to Lamont, black man, referred me to that shop. Okay.
Period.
Y'all are out there. There's black men out there in production. Okay, and they do help you out.
That's good.
He was able to refer me, and I was able to get in. And so from that, it just was so much fun on set. Like, being able to just go through the woes. But the biggest part, I was able to transition from being in the field to post-production. And from being able to be on set to now getting the footage and putting the footage together in episodes and putting the language and telling it to an editor who hasn't been on set, doesn't know no culture about no ball, no nothing. Like, how you gonna tell a white man?
Step to the side. No.
How you gonna tell a white man how to duck walk? Like, what? And how to correlate that in the time frame that we only have that HBO or Max gives us, okay? So understanding that language and logistics and technicalities and post-production has really kept me booked and busy since then. Okay. So that's why it's my favorite, that first one. And then my second one, of course, was transitioning me over to documentary, was the murdering documentary that we were able to tell with Irv Gotti. Rest in peace to him. Shout out to Michael Payton and C-Suite Music that gave me that chance to be the archival producer for that documentary. And it was a really fun experience. It was my first music documentary, which is a totally different thing than doing like overall, I would say sports, music, and biopics are like the hardest documentaries to really kind of go through the clearing process or the fair use
Right.
process.
Right.
Because it's so many litigations, legal things, you have to deal with the music elites to get things cleared,
Yeah.
and it takes a while. So, but thankfully with Murder Inc., like Irv had a lot of these personal, so we didn't have to go through too much of those rigmaroles. But overall, just being able to just work with that camp and being able to tell that story authentically through the music, and through
I'm scared.
and through shout out to to BET, they were able to have a huge database that had so much music archives from way back in the days of
Right.
like what we used to watch from 106 and Parks to like Rap City and
Yeah.
all those things, to have that access was
Those
a
was the
joy
days,
to watch.
for sure.
Listen, being able to
Those
see
was the
that,
days.
we don't appreciate that much today.
We didn't. Oh
We
my
didn't.
God.
We didn't because it was like a part of our culture.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this new generation has like they're accustomed to what they have for the culture, but it's
Right.
just we want it to be how it used to be for us.
Yeah.
But no shade, like I kind of want to keep it in my castle.
Yeah.
Like, I want to put it I don't, because I heard that they're trying to do a new 106 and Park, but more of on a digital space, and I'm like, it's not the same.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just keep my mouth closed. But anyways, but okay, so did you feel like there were advocates for creative talents before you came on board to advocate for those creative talents?
Oh, that's a deep question. Ooh. I will say, at the time that I was, it was a sprinkle of them, because they're my mentors today.
Okay.
Shout out to Aisha Corpus Wynn, Ricky Hughes. Shout out to Holly Carter, Keisha Brickhouse. Those were a lot of the women that I saw on set that advocated for the talent, and not only advocated for the talent, but the crew that was working behind them.
Okay.
Boy, if I could tell those stories. Vivian Payton, shout out to Vivian Payton as well. Like those amazing queens, I was able to see at the forefront as an associate producer. How much that we need more Black women, more Black men in the space.
Yes, I agree.
In an elite level. There's a difference between like...
In the space and elite.
Because there's a difference between supervising a show
Yeah.
and show running a show.
Yeah.
It's a
We need the
different
show
type
running.
of like bossness that you see. Like being able to shout out to Ricky Hughes, okay? Ricky, and Zoe Jackson, Samuel Jackson's daughter. I was able to work with her on The Hype as well. But seeing those women just come in with they just style, they come in however they want to, when they want to, and they take the room. And the one thing they know is that they know their business.
Yeah.
And a lot of us in are below the line, we don't know the business of entertainment, and that's what kind of shakes us up from a lot of people staying in the business.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
we don't know how to gift the gab versatility wise, versatile,
Right.
Like, because I'm gonna have to gift the gab to my people,
Right.
But how am I gonna gift the gab
to get my
when
foot
it's
in
not
the-
my
right.
people anymore? And they
Exactly.
still love me and they still get it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true, though, because I don't think people really think about that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so, okay. So then what will be your secret to networking at an event if you're trying to get your brand known? And never be afraid to do what in these type of spaces.
Well, it's actually evolved, because back then when I first started TV, like, I got my job through Craigslist.
Craigslist,
Yes.
and I'm so mad it really still exists. I'm like,
Oh
people,
no, it's still there. Indeed.com as well. And people
like,
still
wait.
send like jobs. I still see like Disney and like these big still sending their stuff to Indeed. Now you got to be careful nowadays because people scam and scam.
Yeah.
But back then when I was like applying, it wasn't that many scams. Like you could kind of filter out the scams. You could tell. And so yeah, I got my job through Pilgrim through Craigslist. And so from now being able to jump from Craigslist to now I could slide in a DM through LinkedIn, through Instagram or Facebook if I want to, and get a conversation going.
Right.
Oh my gosh! Like, like I wish I had that back then in the day. Like I feel like I wouldn't be going through the gatekeeping woes I would have now.
Right. That's true.
But I think with nowadays with networking, I think first of all, take care of yourself. Cause
hello.
it don't matter what it is. having to deal with these fires, having to deal with this strike, having to deal with this pandemic. Take care of you first.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, you don't want to go in trying to network and your social battery is at like 20%.
Yeah.
Go lay down.
Go lay down
Go to sleep.
and get back
Like,
up. Drink some water and come back.
Get your life. Get to at least 100%. Not even 75. Because sometimes at 75, it could be like Sonic.
Right.
You be over here, ding, 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 and then your rings be down the ship. Make sure you're at 100% before you're going to any event.
Yeah.
Now, I say shout out to a lot of these different apps like Partyful, Luma, Eventbrite, like all those things. Hell, Instagram.
I like Partyful.
Listen, very
like
direct events,
yes.
and I can pick
and very
choose.
organized.
Very organized. You know the people that's coming, and if you don't see people that's coming, you know when to sit down.
Exactly.
But I love those things because now it gives me so much accessibility to different events that I want to at my own time. Like I don't feel like I'm having FOMO or like I'm missing out on anything, because the one thing about California or LA specifically is that we have events going on literally every dang week.
It's
every day at this point, because people trying to catch up because they need the money.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I can go to, I literally just like last week or two, I went to one of them days screening.
Oh, yeah.
And it was literally because I just scrolled on Instagram and was like, oh, they're doing an event. Boop,
yes.
Let me support.
And that movie was so good.
No shade, it was actually really good.
I'm gonna have to watch it again because it was really good.
I can see BET running that. It's gonna be our next baby boy.
Okay, yeah. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too.
Okay, so, did you want to add anything else to like when you're in a networking event?
Yes. Also too, when you're at a networking event, nowadays keep in mind that it's gonna be a party. So always go in there with an intention. Try to be disciplined as much, like party on the top end, but get your connect when you leave. Because the whole purpose of you going to the event is to leave with like a follow up or a job. Most of the people, because we ain't got no job, so somebody want a job. So you want to go in there with that intention and leaving out with that result. So just keep in mind, yes, you want to, do your thing, break it down, but you better also get that virtual
Don't forget.
Don't forget. It's like, that little ring in the back of your head, like, don't forget.
Yeah. Because you will, sometimes be at the bar, like, wait a minute.
Listen,
what am I
at
here
the corner,
for?
shy, talking about, I missed my chance. Now I got to do it again. Now you got to set yourself up for another event.
Don't be a wallflower. We're not doing that for 2025.
I know it's hard being a wallflower, but just what I try to do, and I think I did it with you with the event that we went to, I was like, let's just go in the middle.
Right.
Let's just try to go in the middle,
that
and then
works.
from there it just clusters. It builds that connection. It breaks the ice.
Yes. Okay, so what do you feel is the narrative of for Hollywood?
We're on fire and we're broke.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, and they are trying to get rid of diversity and go back to the golden age and reboots. I'm tired of the reboots. Okay, I'm done with my rant.
Okay. So the next, I would definitely take you back off the next one.
I'm so tired of Hollywood. Like Hollywood is like on its last leg with me. Like I'm literally looking at Hollywood like I'm looking at it like a new episode of Real Housewives. Like I'm just like, what's gonna happen
this
next?
time?
Like
right.
What? Like okay.
Okay. So how will you change or encourage others to change the narrative?
Don't wait on Hollywood for your concept.
Hello.
The damn concept. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have the podcast space, we have live events, we have direct connections. You can get your little money and get a venue.
Right. Make it happen.
You can be like this and do a podcast and, get your homeboy or your friend that has a space and make it beautiful. Don't wait on Hollywood to have your idea be created. Do it, please.
Do it.
Just
That's all you gotta do.
And also enjoy the journey of the product. Don't be so rushed into the product that you don't enjoy the journey. Because that's the whole purpose of what we do in production, is the memories that we have sitting with interviews. I think especially reeling it back to the Murder Inc. thing, being able to have that experience with Irv passing, it just kind of made me be like, you be sitting there in an interview doing a whole thing with someone one day, and then
I know they gone.
Gone. And this is the second time that like a talent has passed away that I produced. There was the first one I had, shout out to Coach Matthew with Dance Force Elite on Bring It. He was the first talent that I pitched to my EP, pitched to the network, got it approved, and was able to get him on the first episode back. Okay. And to be able to have that experience, that talent it sticks with them for the rest of their lives. Yeah. You know, so while we're chasing like the accolades of Emmys and like all those things, yes, that's cute. But, you know, the memories that you build with that talent, that shares with them forever. And I think Bring It really, I'm glad that when I first was able to be on set, I'm blessed that I was able to do it on a show with beautiful, talented, the South, of course, shout out to Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, but also doing it with kids that love to dance. And it was like, that was their life. It was not a fakeness. It was not, we couldn't overproduce that. Yeah. Them kids would dance from they woke up until they went to bed. And having that joy to do that, especially I think during around that time, I think it was another hurricane that happened around in Dallas at that time. And they did like a tribute for it, and those kids that were affected, I was able to interview a lot of them, and a lot of those kids was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be on camera. Those memories you get to cherish, because a lot of those kids now are in college, and they DM me, they're like, hey girl, I still remember you from when you produced me long ago. Like, those things I cherish so much. I know the Emmys and stuff will come, but those are the things and the reasons why I produce.
Yeah, okay. That's very, like, motivating and welcoming, especially for kids, because, you know, you never know, like, what they go through, you know.
It's all of us that are, like, the kids, the LGBTQI community. When I did Legendary, when I did My Killer Body with K. Michelle, with the effectiveness of the, you know, silicone and the BBLs, and they're just trying to fix their lives. Yeah. Like, it's so many stories that we get to be a part of advocating for. And, you know, sometimes, like, once the show ends and then it's just like you're just on the next one. But when the pandemic, it made me really sit with myself and be like, what legacy am I really leaving behind, you know? And every time I have a credit pop up, that's the legacy that I'm leaving behind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So now when people get into these spaces, and, you know, sometimes they don't really share the opportunity or connections, you know, to their, like, associate colleagues or friends, maybe family. Do you feel as though it's selfish or just, like, let me see how it goes first and then you come along type of vibe?
Oh, so, like when you make it and then you, like, try to bring people on type of thing?
Are they, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, they feel obligated, like, oh, I know you, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. Boundary. Yeah. That's when you develop your boundaries. Work, love, friends, all that. Family, everything. Boundaries. Because if you don't have boundaries, then you will have a lot of issues with energies and people that think that have accessibility to you, and you haven't even done anything to give me that reason to have that accessibility to me. So especially as you evolve, and you're not going to be that same, like how I was, like, I'm not the same associate producer as I used to be. Okay. So a lot of jobs I had to kind of turn down. That was my boundary. Like, I had to kind of start saying no. Okay. Because some people, like, especially, like, people who were used to me being an AP or used to me being at one level, I'm not there no more.
She gone.
I'm gone. Like, even when I transitioned from unscripted to documentary, like, a lot of my people are still in unscripted, and that's okay because they have their path. Because, you know, usually when you're in scripted, unscripted, you kind of go in the path of, like, going into a union. You try to stay on a show, like, for seasons as much as you can to try to build that credit and eligibility to be on unions, to be protected and all the things. I'm too freelance. Like, I feel like I am the Malcolm X to like, the system of what we are in Hollywood.
Here. No.
I just want to be here. Like, I don't want to be pigeon-toed to this system that has not protected me in the beginning, because no shade, no tea. Everybody be hating on reality TV, and that's where I started. Okay? And to be able to start from reality TV to be in documentaries, it's not where you start. It's where you go and
That part.
maintain yourself. I didn't pigeonhole myself in reality TV. I just sponged the knowledge and the opportunities and the blessings that I got from reality TV and pivoted myself around from the skills and the storytelling
Yes.
and moved it around to different places like social media now, podcasts. I can do live events. I can do documentaries,
Yes,
all
girl.
those things, and not have to worry about being pigeon-toed to a system that don't even want me to be there.
Not at all.
Place.
And that's why you created, a lane for yourself to do different many things, because it is so much of that. Like, like why do we have to change? Like, I don't know. I feel like we have to change ourselves just to be in these spaces, and it's like you didn't change yourself to care either. So like why I gotta do
nepotism.
Like why I gotta do
The nepotism. Meanwhile, I gotta run a whole
Right.
Olympic race for you to still tell me I am not qualified.
Yeah, and that
What? Take me out the game.
Right.
Take me out the game.
like you didn't even go through all this, okay?
Rules, okay? And I think that's what this new generation is doing. Like, that's why we're not, like, I've seen so many of my peeps being like, I'm not staying on a show. Like, if a show is not going to give me my rate,
Yeah.
I am out of here. Now, back in the day, them little line producers, when you be like, rate, you'd be like,
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like maybe the next time.
Now we like, you know what? If I just gotta deal with the money that I got and do what I gotta give, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because God is going to protect
our
me.
fine, exactly.
Okay? And he has.
Exactly.
Period.
Okay, so for 2025, what will you do different from last year for your brand?
I would say for myself for 2025.
Yeah. Okay.
I would definitely say I need to pop out and show out a little bit more.
Yes.
I
That's
feel
all I'm
like
saying.
I have
Pop
been too
out.
much in the kitchen trying to figure out these things that I've been trying to cook up, but now I feel like I slowly need to start popping out, being safe too, because sometimes like when I tell you I'm very on my energy, like I pop out, but when I'm in. But popping out and showing my stuff, I think the other day I was telling my boyfriend, like, sometimes like I've been in the game for like 10 years and I sadly still feel at times that I'm green. Mm-hmm. And I should not feel that way because I've been in TV and film for so long in various spaces, but I still feel like I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
So now I'm taking this year to be like, look at all these projects that you've done.
Man, let's piggyback off of that because I felt like that too, and I'm like, that's why we're here now. Because I'm like, wait a minute,
and it's not saying
let me dust my little baby off and get that.
Because no shade, it's just like I have been on these shows and everything, but I've had instances where my credit was taken. I've had instances where like I had to fight for my rate. Like there have instances where people in front of my face would tell me I am not qualified. So those things, like when you tell people that, like, yeah, it's like, the woes of Hollywood, but that, like, this generation, we care about our mental.
Yeah, we do.
And eventually, like, I'm gonna be like, no, I am a good producer, okay? And I took this time, like, especially like last year and this year, to really be like, you know what, I am a really good producer, and I am going to show it. I'm gonna be able to just tell it in my work, and I'm gonna tell it in the new legacy that I have with a lot of my mentees. Shout out to Queens of Production. Shout out to QOP Queen of Story mentors.
Yes.
Who've really just taken on the reins. Like, it naturally became because I have mentors. So then it naturally, like, other people started to ask me to mentor. And at first I was like, no, like, I'm not. Because, like, you think, like, when you think, like, oh, I got to be up there, like, I got to get a SAG award and all them awards and to be able to give back. But I had so many people being like, your knowledge is power. Yeah. Your knowledge can be able to do so much. And it did. Like, shout out to Dana, who was my first mentee. And from there, I was able to get her when I was doing the Murder Inc. documentary. She just, like, I put her under my wing. And now she's dark copy producing. Okay. Because of me pouring into her. Yeah. And from there, I have, like, over 12 mentees. And now we have 2 new ones. Shout out to Monique and Alana, who are really just, and what about, I'm low maintenance. I'm a low maintenance friend. I'm a low maintenance vendor. Like, you ain't got to talk to me that much. Like, as long as you alive and kicking and you texting me, hey, I'm on a project. All right, then we good.
That
like,
part.
You not good, then we going to have to figure something out. And so it's just been a joy to mentor. And from there, you know, I'm doing it now and I haven't even scratched the surface of stuff that I've done or scratched the surface of things that I have, projects I'm going to do. Projects I've touched on that people don't even know I've touched on, that has been a blessing to be able to work on. So I'm just moving in silence.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
part.
I'm saying. But
and being humble.
Popping out when I need to.
Yes.
It's my 2025.
I like that.
But for my brand, I think I'm really taking on the reins because I have an audience now.
Yeah.
And so now it's being able to be like, okay, what y'all need? And I'm going to try my best to be able to give that to y'all.
Yes,
I want to try to get to a space where we can be able to collaborate on bigger scale, like collaborations and stuff, but I'm still scratching the surface on people believing that this is even a business. So,
and it is, because I hit you up for, you know, to help me with a few different things, and I do hair, so for you to just be like, oh, you know, give me my conversation between me and you and what I needed. So I feel like that was motivation for me. So I want to thank you in advance. You know, so I'm like, you was just like, here, hit up this person, go here, do this. So I was just like, that's cool. Like, for you to not even be, you know, in hair or like makeup, stuff like that, and you still know how to kind of steer people like to like in the right direction to basically meet up with other people like in the same field. That's really good.
That's because I talk to the people in those fields. Like when I was on set, like I was kicking with the producers, but sometimes you know what, that's a no for some producers. Like, y'all need to get out the group. Stop being the clicky click, okay? Start talking to other people in the departments. I would kiki with the audio department. Camera, they union, so sometimes it's a hit or miss, but I do have some of my people in camera department. Love y'all. I talk to hair. I talk to PAs, because a lot of PAs is not going to be PAs for long. Okay? Clock it. I talk to everybody. COVID compliance officers. You know, when I had to print, I had to be nice to them, because if I wasn't nice to them, they was going to give me my call sheet. The ADs, like I talk to everybody on set. But that's what you're supposed to do if you want to be a showrunner. You got to know all the positions, and you got to be nice to all those positions, because you're going to need them one day. Or you're going to have to be connected with them one day. And a lot of the reasons why I was able to connect people so quickly was because I stayed connected with these people and was like, oh yeah, I know this audio person. Let me hit them up and see what they got going on. Okay. And then the connection starts an experience.
Exactly. Okay, so any upcoming like networking events from Queens of Production for 2025?
An in-person one is coming soon. I haven't done one in a minute, but an in-person one's coming soon. And honestly, it's just going to be fun. Like, it's not going to be where you're talking about too much of the industry, but it's just us having fun. I do repost a lot of in-person events for other groups as well, which is our main thing. We do want to collaborate more with other people. Shout out to Production Connect. They do have an upcoming event that's coming up like after Valentine's Day, so definitely we will be there in the building.
And we will, period.
Because the last one was fun.
It was lit. You already know.
And then there's a virtual event. Shout out to Fallon. She's having one on Zoom that's coming up as well. I think that was towards the end of the month. But honestly, it's just staying connected. I know, I'm gonna be watching Kendrick during the Super Bowl, so that's gonna be me, But needless to say, we're gonna be always having our other events that we do, the IG Live Talk, which that was amazing. We're gonna try to bring that back on. And then, other things, but definitely, yes, we are going to plan on doing an in-person event. Because
I can't wait.
My queens need it. Oh gosh, we need to connect.
Yes, that part, definitely. I'm ready for that.
Listen, and then from our other projects, like I said, we have like other little projects we're slowly cooking, but our main one we have is our podcast, the Culture Couture podcast. Shout out to again our collaboration with Hello Fallon Entertainment and our amazing talent with Mother Shannon Balenciaga. We are back with our season 2, which is very exciting, and we're kicking it off for Black History Month. So we will be having the
Period.
first episode drop next week.
I
I'm so
love
excited.
it.
The episode is so black. It is
Yes.
blackly black,
I love it.
black. So definitely stay tuned
I
with
love
that.
to hear
Follow
it.
us on at Culture Couture Podcast. Also from not only on Instagram but on our YouTube page. We have slowly been getting up there. We're getting almost to 10,000 views
Yes.
overall. Girl.
Okay. Okay, so what do you think the future holds as far as production moving forward, due to things happening to our economy? Because
Oh yeah, because they ain't getting no money from the tax incentives. Oh, that's why I said don't wait on them. If you even heard from them tax incentives, unscripted is not included in them tax incentives. Now I know if I don't know if Gavin Newsom has included us yet.
Right.
Hopefully, let us pray. But in due time, like I said, don't wait on Hollywood. I would say take this time to plan and strategize and reconnect with the people. Because I know a lot of it too is a lot of my people are not even in industry anymore. A lot of them just really just up and just like deuces. So a lot of them probably not even here in California anymore. A lot of them probably even just took a whole nother turn on a career in general. So I would just take this time to don't rush. Like don't feel like you got to get back in the game. Like is it back to normal? Because it is not normal. Okay. Okay. Get your life. And take the time to strategize, reconnect with the people, check in on your people, see what they got going on, and really make sure that it is aligned time because you're not running out of time. It's just in due time.
In due time. And that's what we need to understand, in due time.
Yes.
So is there any motivational books or shows you can suggest?
Yes. Okay. So Post and Black, shout out to them. They have amazing interviews with people who are in the game from various levels and in various spaces that are behind the scenes, especially in like the post-production space. So definitely just look at them. Black Women in Post-Production. That's my people over in the pond. Yes, we do collab international. They support us. They supported us since the beginning, okay? Jasmine, she's my girl out there in the UK. Definitely shout out and support them. They have a podcast as well that I was able to be a special guest on. So definitely make sure you support them on Spotify. The AI Chicks, if you want to learn about AI, that's my mentor, Aisha Corpus-Wynn. Shout out to her and that camp. My mentee is a part of working on them behind the scenes with them. But if you really want to know about AI and what's going on in all spectrums, like that channel definitely 100%. And also too, like definitely go beyond what your spaces and genres. Like I support scripted. Shout out to Black Girl Rights Camp. The Cultural Machine. Shout out to them. That's my fan right there because they be giving me free stuff. I want my DC Mambo sauce immediately. Shipped to me immediately. Cultural
they're
Machine.
doing it like that?
That sauce that I got for that giveaway.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yes, it worked.
Oh,
it's so good. It's so good. But I just honestly like being able to. Oh, and R&B yoga because we are all in the spirit, and we actually need to do an event with them as well. But I would say for what is up ahead and what we have like collaboration wise is just going and expanding above and beyond that we can. A big huge resource going back to the books. I think The Artist Way, it's like an OG book. Like everybody be talking about it. Definitely take a look at that. And I'm more of a documentaries person because I visually like to see the history. So anything on Hulu, I watch 100%. I think what's the latest documentary that I watched? Oh, I think I watched a documentary about the supermodels, the black supermodels back in the day. I think it was like a YouTube series, but then it got distributed.
I need to check that one out.
Really good.
Okay.
It gives you like who the OG like models like Tyra Banks to the Imanis, like all like they talk about them. Iman talk about their lives and stuff. Right. So and then also music too. I think it was the latest music one. The Luther documentary was really good. Yeah. And then also Serena, because I was a part of that Serena documentary. Okay. I was able to do that through my job, Archival Ninjas. And yeah, shoot, any resources that you want to know, follow Queens of Production. Yes. And I will DM you some resources.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so we almost about to wrap it up, but I do want to touch bases on the fires. How do you feel about like everything going on with the fires and the people that were affected and lost everything?
Man, like I was saying both ends because I not only like saw like my community be affected, but like I was affected, like my
Yeah.
whole inner circle was affected. So I was affected mainly when it was the sunset fires. And thankfully we weren't close to the Runyon Canyon area, but I
Right.
live literally down that street closer to the like freeway side. And so as soon as like our apartment manager like told us to evacuate, I was like, we kind of already had a bags kind of
Yeah.
set ready to go,
Okay.
and we were just like up and go. Like we was
Yeah.
like,
You don't
I'm
have
not
to
staying
tell
long.
me twice.
And so we stayed in the downtown LA area where my other friends were, and it was more safer near that space. And honestly, just seeing the updates on the news was scary, like because it felt like everything was closing in, like you couldn't, like I had people in my, because like I went to school in Davis and Northern California, so I got my peoples up there like, come up here. I was like, I can't because that's where the fires are.
Right.
And then there was people like my boyfriend's people out like in the East Coast was over there asking like, you could go over here. I was like, we can't go. So just having to just laugh through the pain.
Right,
we were able to
literally.
bring another friend of ours to evacuate because she stayed in Hollywood too. Like we got a friend of ours who just stayed at our other friend's house.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to like just keep everybody in positivity.
Yeah.
But everybody that was affected, Altadena, the Black community that's out there, Palisades, oh my gosh, like. Because I'm
It's
from
so
here,
sad.
and just seeing all the places that I used to go to or like popped over when I was a kid to like driving in those areas are now gone. Like it's like it really makes you appreciate the world that you live in. But it's so hard to make it go back to normal when it's something like that. Because I've been through some fires.
Right.
I've been through the 1994 earthquake. But I've never dealt with anything like this.
That part.
And to this extreme where, like, we didn't have no water. Like, what was the water?
It's just like anything could happen at any given moment. And that's really...
moment. And it just makes you think, like, was I really prepared?
Definitely not. I wasn't.
How much was I prepared? Like Smokey the Bear, forest fire.
Yeah.
Like, we was not
at all. And it just goes back to like when our parents and grandmas used to make the emergency kits. It's like
yeah, my grandma definitely had like a little nice little big
right,
shopping cart with all the
real
things.
big,
I would be like,
everything.
Why do you have that?
Right, every year just update. Like, what is this?
Like, or when you was in school and you had to do the earthquake drills and all that stuff. You don't appreciate that then until you're dealing with it now.
Now I appreciate. Now I want to make an emergency kit because it's
now,
like
I'm just like lend it now, go to Vegas, or lend it now, drive. Like I'm just like just drive away. Like because at this point we just don't know, and so. You know, thankfully, with everything in the madness, we were able to donate at Coop, which was a local area.
Donated as well.
And we were able to, like, give donations, give resources. I shut down Queens of Production and just used, like, the couple of days that it was in the midst of everything and just let it be a resource camp. So, shout out to everybody that was giving me resources to repost so that way we could find places to donate, volunteer, and things like that. And still... Please make sure you're with the aftermaths. Like I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I haven't heard nothing.
There's
really
no coverage
else.
for real. But please make sure to continue to spread awareness and continue to support those that have been affected of the aftermath of the fires. Thankfully, I wasn't as much, but I know so many like my people's like my homegirl Kaya, who worked on the hype with me. She did hair, and her family was really affected because she lived in the Altadena area, and so. I, just was checking in on her, making sure she's good, reposted her stuff as much as I can. But even those little things count. Like, don't think because you wasn't out there, like, physically volunteering. Like, I know everybody couldn't be in the smoke, okay? Everybody got respiratory problems. So, I was able to, share my part, donate, spread awareness and resources. But please continue to do so because it's not over. Like, it's not like a poof, we back. Like,
and that's how I felt because I did volunteer to do, like, a few hairstyles at the Pasadena City College and at Beyond the Comes Academy. So it was just sad to, like, just hear the different stories and, like some people really don't have nothing to go back to, so it's kind of just like an eye opener.
Like, they can go back to
what?
Where?
Like what do you mean go back? Like I don't understand that.
And shout out to Walk Good LA and all Dream Center and like
the
all
Source
the places,
LA,
the Source LA, like all the places that really just open their spaces and open their arms to be able to be donation centers and being able to like give back. That was so powerful. That one thing I'll say for sure about LA, they can talk about us all day long, but when we come together,
we come together.
We gonna come together.
We was overloaded. That's
the fact they said there was no
like,
donations. I was like, oh, this is powerful.
Right.
This is powerful.
I was like, okay, yeah. We definitely showed up and showed out. So
listen.
Okay, so that concludes my show, and I'm glad you were my special guest today, and I definitely can't wait to enjoy your events coming up. So if you want to check her out, please follow her at...
Follow me at Queens of Production, at Queens of Production. Okay, if you want to follow there. If you want to follow me personally, you gotta DM me on there and I'll give you the information. You can also follow us on the website. We do have a website as well. And then we also have Slack. For my people who are not on social media, I did give that opportunity. So if you want to be on that channel as well, DM us and we'll give you the invitation link.
Yes. And you know me, Let's Talk About It Success Stories, ended with a Z. And I'm on YouTube as well at I Love Me 0529. Well, it's me, MII. So thank you. See you guys later.
Bye, y'all.